What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and in this video we're going to be talking about a lot of crazy stuff. Before we dive into that, I do want to tell you guys a few things real quick. Two major announcements to make. The first thing that I want to tell you guys about is just this past week, I've really been trying to get myself back together. I've been working out, playing soccer, eating better, drinking less, and trying like all hell still to try to quit smoking cigarettes. And I promise you, eventually I will. With this fitness kick and the fact that I'm eating better and really trying to take care of myself, I promise you the bad things will be out of my life. In fact, I'm tired of feeling down and out about myself and really just tired of the same old, same old. So because of that, this past week, I've really been trying to kick it into high gear with the fitness, the soccer, the eating, things like that. So I really do hope that you notice these noticeable changes of old Joe here as he attempts to transform into a superhuman. Well, not really actually, but I do want to be a lot more appealing to the eye than just appealing to people like Punk Tattoo Guy and Cherry. Damn it, Jerry. But I guess the short of it is, I'm just really trying to get back in shape. The other major announcement is that After Prison Show is in fact moving. After Prison Show is moving this weekend. We've got a bigger studio. It's actually going to have multiple studios in it, I hope. Green screens, podcast station. So I will be bringing you guys some of the action of that move, showing you the new place as we get it set up. And I do hope that's something that you really want to see. If not, I'll probably shed tears because my feelings are hurt. But with all of those things mentioned, what do you say we just go ahead and dive head first into this video? You know, there's been some really crazy things going on lately, one of which being the fact that Michael Vick, the NFL football player, the guy who went to federal prison for like 18 months for dog fighting, his brother got arrested for a gun charge because of some sort of a fight at a McDonald's. And I think Michael Vick had some other trouble as well. And I mean, trouble just seems to really follow this Vick family. But just a couple of days ago, I think it was 2 days ago, in fact, Michael Vick's daddy, his daddy just got arrested for being part of a major heroin operation that was taking place right here in the good old state of Virginia, where the Michael Vick family is from, and also After Prison Show is located as well. But his father did just get arrested for being part of this major drug operation selling heroin. In fact, the indictment stated something about like over 1,000 grams of heroin. There were all sorts of other people who were indicted as being a part of this drug operation as well. Here is a look at some of the mugshots from this case. Right here, Michael Vick's daddy. And what's crazy about everybody named in this indictment, I mean, this really isn't that crazy of a thing at all. But it seems that the feds had so much information about the people named in this indictment and also arrested on these charges that they also had their nicknames as well. Michael Vick's daddy, I'd like to just call him AKA Vicks Daddy, Daddy Vick, but it seems his nickname really was Vick. It's not really a good alias. I mean, if you were going to have a nickname because you're part of a major drug operation, you would probably want to use something a lot less telling about who you are exactly. And I want you guys to look at these mugshots. I'm going to be telling you their names and their nicknames, and I really just want you guys to think like, you know, does this nickname fit this person, or can you think of a better nickname for them? What about this little cutie right here who was also named in this indictment, Candace, aka Candy. Hey Candy, can I taste the candy? Maybe she's a diabetic. Arnold, aka True, or Nephew, or T. Hey Arnold! I mean True, I mean T, I mean Nephew! This chick right here, Kathy, she actually looks like she was probably just a drug tester. Hey, Kathy, we're going to need you to test these drugs right here and make sure they're okay. She looks like a wild one for sure, and her nickname, if you'll never believe this, I mean, this is so fucking original. Her name is Kathy, a.k.a. Kath. Kath. The fuck? You could not think of anything a little more original than that. We are running a major drug operation here. We're going to need more covert and secret nicknames for this operation. Hey Kath, I'm gonna need you to test these drugs. They should have called her Kath Test Dummy. Get it? Like crash test dummy? Kath Test Dummy. And this next guy, brace yourself, this guy's really scary looking, in fact. And I can't believe the fact that me and this guy actually share the same name. His name is Joseph. My AKA is Joe, or Killer Joe. This guy, though, his nickname really should be Buttface, because that's exactly what I see when I look at this guy. Butt! Your face! Buttface. Your face looks like an ass. There were a few other people who were named in this indictment. I think there were like 12 people altogether. And, you know, no matter about the mugshots, no matter about the nicknames, but it's just crazy to think like how trouble is just constantly around this family. You know, I can really understand growing up, dealing with a hard life, dealing with having to get it how you live, getting it from the streets, being in the streets. Thank God for the sidewalks because they kept me out of the streets. I don't know how that really fits into this. I just heard that saying not too long ago, and I thought it was a pretty clever one, actually. Thank God for the sidewalks because they kept me out of the streets. You know, everywhere I grew up had sidewalks, and I was still in the streets. But you know, you would think that if you grew up having like a hard life, you were in the streets, whatever it may be, you were always going to be trying to work to get out of that damn lifestyle. Because if you don't, no matter what you accomplish, no matter how well you do or how much money you make, if you don't change your fucking mentality to say, hey, look, I need to leave this dumb shit in the past. That was a part of my past that led me to be where I am now. Well, you're going to end up like this damn Vick family, constantly and always being in the news for one reason or another. Now, if that wasn't a motivational story enough to really make you want to change your ways, if you do have some ill-mannered ways right now, well, then I would hope this next story really would be an eye-opener for you. Because just yesterday, here in the good old state of Virginia, in fact, in the same damn city where when I first came home from prison and began After Prison Show, I was living at, there was a woman who went to court yesterday and received 20 years for selling someone some heroin that ended up killing them. Now, this woman right here who was just sentenced yesterday to these 20 years, I'm willing to bet that she really wasn't the connect. She was not Pablo or some sort of a drug kingpin or even a drug dealer, really. I'm willing to bet she was probably just some middleman who was getting drugs for somebody else, hoping either to take a little bit of those drugs for herself or maybe even getting free drugs from the guy that she was buying the drugs from and helping him to sell the drugs a little bit. But whatever the case is, this chick, Julie, got some drugs and then ended up selling these drugs to this guy named Robert right here, who ended up overdosing and dying right there on the spot as soon as he took the drugs. And what happened when this guy overdosed, you would think she would like drop down, begin CPR, call 911, try to get this guy some sort of medical attention. She did not. And this happened at a hotel room. And when it did happen, she just basically walked right the fuck out and let this guy die right there on some seedy hotel, more than likely motel floor. The heroin that she gave to this guy that ultimately killed him was found to be cut with fentanyl, another really strong drug by itself, and the mixture of heroin with this fentanyl and God knows what else probably ultimately killed this guy. Maybe he took too much, maybe it was too strong for him, whatever the case may be. She gave this guy drugs that killed him, left him in a hotel room, and she just got sentenced to 20 years yesterday because of this. And I really want to know what you think of this 20-year sentence that she received. Do you think this was too much time? Do you think it was enough time? I mean, she did leave this guy to die in this hotel room. She could have saved him potentially. Maybe there was a chance she could save him by calling 911, performing CPR, anything, any attempt at least, probably would have looked a lot better for her than to just leave him to die on the floor of some seedy-ass motel. And that really does bring one last thought to mind about this entire situation. And that is, like, when you do drugs, when you do heroin, cocaine, meth, anything like that, you really don't know what they're using to cut these drugs. And that should be a scary fucking thing. I know back when I was doing drugs and I was heavily involved with cocaine, thinking about this was never something that I did. But to be able to actually look back on that now, I can't even imagine how many risky situations I put myself in, putting these drugs in my body, not having any fucking idea what whoever the hell I got them from or whoever the hell they got them from actually used to cut and stretch these drugs to make more drugs so that they could ultimately make more money. Because these drug dealers are not worried whether you live or you die. They are only worried about how much fucking money they can make for themselves. This last story that I want to tell you about in this video, it's pretty fucking crazy. This happened last month down in North Carolina where they had this major drug bust that seized 78 bricks of heroin with a street value of $20,000. I'm not exactly sure the math on that, but that definitely does not sound right at all. 78 bricks of heroin valued at only $20,000? And if 78 bricks of heroin isn't enough, Well, also seized in this drug bust was over 5 ounces of cocaine and over 4 ounces of crack cocaine. And also a handgun, an AK-47, and 5 cars. And arrested in this drug bust was a 22-year-old by the name of Dion Flood, who authorities commented and said that they would not label a kingpin. I'm not exactly sure how you wouldn't label this guy a kingpin. I mean, 78 bricks of heroin, over 5 ounces of cocaine, 4 ounces of crack, a handgun, an AK-47, and 5 cars doesn't really sound like a drug kingpin to me at all. And if it's not crazy enough, everything that this guy got caught with, this guy is most certainly going to be picked up by the feds. And I'm going to explain to you how this is going to work. This guy got raided in a drug bust. They seized all of these different drugs, a handgun, and also an assault rifle as well. Well, he was surely arrested right then and then charged on a state level. They took him downtown to the jail. He went in front of the magistrate and they gave him all of these charges. Shit, he's probably still getting charges to this very day as this investigation continues. But what's going to end up happening in this guy's case is he's going to go to court for these charges and they're going to dismiss those charges. That's what they're going to do. He's going to go to court. He's going to walk in there and the prosecutor's going to say, Your Honor, we're going to motion to dismiss these charges. And this guy's probably going to be sitting in the courtroom, this 22-year-old Dion Flood. He's going to be sitting in the courtroom. He's going to be like, what? They're dismissing my charges? How the fuck did this happen? I just got caught with 78 bricks of heroin, 5 ounces of cocaine, 4 ounces of crack, a handgun, a semi-automatic rifle, and 5 cars. Maybe I have an angel above. And he's gonna walk out of that courtroom probably feeling like he's on cloud 9. Like, can't nobody stop his shine. He's gonna go right back out there into this drug game. Except as soon as he goes through those doors of that courtroom, waiting right on the other side of those doors is gonna be federal agents, if they're not already involved in his case. And he's gonna walk right out of that courtroom, right into the waiting arms of those federal agents who are going to arrest him again and then take him to go start the federal process. And the reason the state is going to drop his charges and then in turn hand him over to the feds is because the feds are absolutely going to bury this guy when he goes to court. In fact, if I can remember correctly, from all of the many motherfucking people I met at the jail that I was at who were dealing with a federal case, because the jail that I was at that I left and went to prison from was a jail that also housed federal inmates as well. And just a little something else to throw into this, everything that I mentioned about Michael Vick's dad and those who were also indicted with him, they're actually sitting in that same exact jail that I left from to go to prison. Western Tidewater Regional Jail in Suffolk. Because again, that jail houses people who have been charged on a state level and also on a federal level. And old Michael Vick's daddy, well, he most certainly has been charged on a federal level. Just as this young 22-year-old Dion down in North Carolina will be as well. But like I was trying to say, if I can remember correctly, when you get caught with drugs, and especially different types of drugs, and then you get caught with an assault rifle as well, somebody told me while I was locked up that each bullet inside of that assault rifle carries its own individual charge. And I can't really remember exactly what that charge is, but I know you get charged for each individual bullet inside of that assault rifle, and I think it's something like fucking 10 years a bullet. Can you imagine how much time the feds are going to give to this guy? He's probably looking at a minimum of 50 fucking years in prison before the feds begin to have this guy singing like a bird. Damn, Joe, you really can't fucking sing at all. What the fuck was that? There were some other stories that I wanted to tell you guys about in this video. We just didn't get to them. And I guess what we ended up doing was keeping this completely drug related. Sprinkle a little coke over the body, make it drug related. I think that was like a Biggie song. But with the fact that we did keep this completely drug related, we're going to end this on a positive, uplifting, motivational note. And that is this. Take it from me, a guy who has lived that life. The sidewalk could not keep me out of the street because I was up to my chest in that thug life bullshit that I thought was so cool while I was young. Do not ever get involved with drugs. Don't ever resort to that thinking it's going to be a way for you to make some quick cash. Don't ever resort to that thinking it's going to be a way for you to escape from reality a little bit. No matter what, never allow yourself to get wrapped up in that lifestyle. Because I can assure you, the outcome is most certainly always the same. You will either end up dead or in prison. And sometimes in prison facing like 50 fucking years. If you are wrapped up in that type of a lifestyle, I really wish you the best. I really hope that you can see that it's just not fucking worth it and you take the steps necessary to get yourself the help that you need and also out of that dark and downward spiraling type of a lifestyle. It's just not fucking worth it. Hey, look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted, nor ever involve yourself with drugs. I mean, they really will fuck your entire life up. And make the most of every day. Peace!